Hello and good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Arrow. I'm well. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. Excited to talk with you. And the reason why is because you've got a lot of answers for a lot of people. I mean, they always say that 2-year-olds have why? Well, you know what? I'm still asking why.
I understand. Me too.
and you get to locate those answers. It's got to be exciting for you to work with National Geographic to be able to say, I'm going to go into this project and we're going to locate some answers to why.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I mean, I usually start with the questions I have first because, I need to find out more. But, then I think about what kinds of questions kids have and we go from there.
Don't you think that we've become more of a bigger and more excited a group of generations in the way that we just want to know everything, and Google and Yahoo and stuff like that have made it possible, but we really are intrigued by content.
I totally agree. I mean, we can get answers quickly, which is, probably one of the greatest things is that when we have a question, we can Google it and get there pretty quick. This particular book, it answers the questions like that you might come up with, but it also answers questions you might not have thought of before, but then you find out that you're glad that you know.
Like cats landing on their feet. Now, I personally have never tried to figure out why cats do that, but the thing about it is I've always heard that story.
Yeah, and it's true. It's not one of those urban legends. So there's one asterisk. They have to have 12 inches in order to land on their feet, and I'll tell you why. They do something called a righting reflex, and this is something that not only your household cat does, but big cats like lions and tigers do too. And so what happens is when they start to fall, like from a tree or from the kitchen counter, they instinctively rotate the front of their body and the back of their body in opposite directions. And this twisting, thanks to a super flexible spine, allows them to orient their feet to the ground. And if they have 12 inches, they'll always stick the landing.
Very interesting, because I'm a third-degree black belt, and one of the things that my master always trained us on, learn how to fall. And you're right about that twisting, because that twisting is what saves a lot of us.
Interesting. Oh, that's so cool. Hey, maybe they got it from cats.
Well, I'm sure they do, because that's part of our studies in martial arts, is that you've got to learn, like, the front stance is actually the way that a cow stands on a hill.
That's so interesting. Well, I do believe that animals honestly do it best, and we have a lot to learn from them.
Yeah. So now, when we talk about flamingos standing on one leg, now I do that because one of the things as I age in life is to make sure that my ankles and my legs are strong enough for balance. Are they doing it for balance, for the strength?
That you brought this up because this is one of my favorite facts too. Okay, so I think that a lot of people assume that they're staying on one leg, to rest or to, whatever. They're not positive. Scientists are still trying to figure it out, but they think one reason is to actually thermoregulate. So they pull one leg up, warm it up underneath their body with their feathers, and then they switch off, right? And so to stay warm, to thermoregulate. I don't think that I would have necessarily thought that when I was observing flamingos, but yeah, it turns out that might be one of the reasons why. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, and it's fascinating to sit there and watch them. I'm going, okay, well, how long can I stay in this yoga position here? You win. I'm not going to beat a flamingo.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I study animal totems, and the elephant has always been one of my totem animals. And it's only because my memory is just as powerful. I love the fact that elephants never forget.
Yeah, it's pretty special, and it's one of those reasons why I think that we still don't know enough about it, but I think they have a lot to teach us. But yeah, it's true. Their long-term memories of knowing how to migrate and where to go, and even remembering their herd, is incredible.
There are literally, if you could see this studio, there are 15 elephants in this room. I mean, literally, and it includes my childhood toy. And I mean, it's such a major part. And it's like one of those things where it's like, I wish elephants could talk, because then these things would be talking to me too.
Yeah, I agree. They're so, I think they're brilliant. And, recent studies have found that the female elephants leading a herd, they'll remember if they're having a big drought, and there hasn't been one for 30 years, that herd 30 years later will still remember how to
Yeah.
get to that watering hole that it hadn't seen in 30 years. I don't know about you, but my memory couldn't pull that off.
Well, that's why I daily write, because I always tell people that because they'll sit there and say, "Why do you write every day?" Well, because one day I'm not going to be able to remember what we went through, and so but I don't see elephants
That's
with
right.
thumbs, so they're not writing anything.
No, it's incredible, and that's why I think they deserve so much respect, and it's why it's important that we've got to protect them, but more importantly, protect their habitat so that they have a safe place to live for a long time.
And don't they protect their environment? I mean, it's not just themselves. When they, because I swear I read something in National Geo where they can pound down the ground and get to water for all other animals.
No, that's incredible. I haven't heard that specifically, but they do use their feet for communication.
Mm-hmm.
Their feet are actually pretty sensitive. They can feel the vibrations of the other herd. They think that herds communicate with each other from miles away. I mean, there's so much going on there that I think you wouldn't see just by glancing at them.
Now, the hyena. The reason why I want to talk about this is because for many years in radio, my program directors would say, "Arrow, you got to stop laughing. It sounds like a nervous laugh." So I have to ask you, for the hyena, is that a nervous laugh? What is that sound?
Yeah, we call it a hyena laugh, but it's not, it's not really fun and games when they're laughing. It's usually they make the sound when they're being chased or attacked or fighting over food. I kind of think of it as like their cue to saying, like, back off. Like, if your cat gets cornered and it hisses at you, you know that that's a pretty serious warning, but they're also scared. And that's kind of what a hyena laugh is too. Hyenas are cool though, because they travel in groups of up to 80 and they're led by females, and they really do work together, and they're super social. They're incredible. But yeah, that laughter is not really a conniving, fun-loving laugh. It's pretty serious.
You've covered two things, the elephant and the hyena, and I hope listeners picked up on this. You said led by the females. The elephant, I mean, that opens up my heart to study even more. Which one? Because I have deer in my forest here. The doe are always out here.
Yeah. Because the females often, they have their young, they're hanging out together, and the males are often off on their own. So I think that's why we do see more females for that reason. But yeah, that's so interesting. What a nice treat too that you get to see them.
We planted 1,700 trees in 1997 to bring back the forest into this area, and when you plant trees, everybody else comes along with it. The owls, the hawks. I even love the snakes. I love it when I see it. It's like, okay, this is your land, but anything that has to do with animals just blows me away.
I agree. Snakes are so cool, and one of the questions that was asked for this book is, why do they stick out their tongue? Do you have any guesses?
I think it's because they're testing the atmosphere to find out how cold it is. Is there anything around them that could harm them? Because I had a boa constrictor, and they're also because one of the things that I've learned about snakes is that, to me, they're the true earth readers, because they feel the vibration of all things, and that tongue gives them sight and everything.
You're absolutely right. And what they do is they stick their tongue out to gather information, then they bring it back in their mouth, press it to the roof of their mouth, which connects to a part in their brain that decodes all the information that they just picked up. So, I mean, wow, pretty cool way to decode the world around you.
Absolutely, because they're in touch. I mean, that's even like the spider, and I would love to find out if you've written some things about the spider. A lot of people want to get rid of them. I'm going, why? They collect insects. They get rid of the bugs.
Yeah. Their webs are a piece of artwork if you carefully look at them. But they're amazing. Oh, and we have a lot to learn. In fact, spider webs are stronger than Kevlar and bulletproof vests. So we can study their webs to find out, why it's so strong, and then apply it to materials that we might want to use for, improvements for anything in our lives. So don't overlook those little creatures, even if they might give you the creepy crawlies. Oh yeah,
Native American spirituality. We're taught one thing, that the spider's web is always reaching up to the great creator, to the sky, and we find great energy in that.
I love it.
So now let's dig deeper into this. You know, the kids are going to love this book because you're answering the question why. Now they're going to want to go to the website because it seems like everybody has to go to a website. National Geographic is amazing with furthering the education beyond the books. Where can they go?
Yeah. Kids.nationalgeographic.com, where you can delve in more about all sorts of animals and beyond.
Yeah. Now, I have to ask you a question about the humor in the book. You have to be laughing while you're putting all this together because I mean, is it something, because comedians tell you that you have to craft a joke. This really sounds like that it's just something that just falls directly from you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like animals sell it themselves. I mean, look at a sloth, look at a seahorse. They're hilarious.
Oh, my God.
They're almost a mistake. That seahorse is like, wait a minute. That's a joke, right? But, they get by in this life with those tiny little fins and that curly tail, and they scoot around and they make it work. So it's pretty awesome.
Oh, my God.
So,
even the sloth.
It's fun to poke a little fun.
Oh, yeah. Even the sloth.
My gosh.
If there was one in this studio, it'd be, I'll get there soon. I'll get there. Hold on. No rush. I'll be there.
They're the reason why they're the stars of some of those great cartoon movies.
Absolutely. Please come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Thank you so much.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
You too.